Okay. Hey kids, Clyde Warren Park is hosting Cover to Cover. 2 stages, 8 bands. The headliner, none other than Petty Theft. How about that? This will be coming down Saturday, the 31st of May. Gonna rock and roll with complimentary wine tastings. A boho market and casino-style gaming. Me Casino's Cash Bar and food trucks will keep you fed and dancing. All of this for the nominal fee of $35. VIP tickets include an open bar, Me Casino catering, and exclusive activities in the shaded comfort of the VIP area. So grab a friend for the day. VIP tickets start for $125. Kick off the summer with the only all-day music festival at the heart of Dallas, the 31st of May, 1 o'clock to 7:30, brought to you by Choctaw Casino and Resort up in Durant. Go to www.clydewarrenpark.org/events programming /Choctaw Cover to Cover Music Festival for tickets.
Nobody would have thought that I would be the one. Rhyner, Sports Talk. Baseball, 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 baseball.
Oh, with the big mic. Oh, okay. All right, yeah. Okay, now I get it.
Isn't that a lightning strike, boys? What happened over there, Grego? We had a little lightning strike right outside the window.
All right. Here's a tip for all these Americano League teams.
Wait, you said tip.
Yeah, tip.
Okay.
With a P.
Keep jamming.
The ticket, colon, nothing but a big Gen X jerk-off set.
This is a cool night or what?
Although somebody would hear that and go, bullshit.
I'm back, bitches.
Hello again, everybody. It is another episode of Your Dark Companion. We hope you're feeling all right, wherever you are, whenever you may be consuming this podcast. I would be Mike Rhyner, here inside the nurturing biosphere of the mothership. We have rolled over from April into the merry, merry month of May. And today, we have a fellow who is becoming a actually frequent contributor to Your Dark Companion, the great Christopher Holt, with us once again.
Yay.
Thank you. You got the Christopher part right.
Yeah, normally I call him Chris. It's always been Chris to me, but today he's Christopher.
You can still call me Chris, but I just have to make that separation. I've told this story too many times now, so I don't. This is my 3rd time on here, so what are we going to talk about?
Well, we're going to talk about the thing that we have not talked about yet,
right?
That you've had working for some time now and have finally foisted on the unsuspecting masses. And that is a new CD of new music from you.
That is correct. Yeah.
It is called Across the Milky Way. And I just got through consuming it for the first time. So you're getting a lot of knee-jerk stuff here from me on this.
Sure.
But I was just amazed by it because I've been hearing your CDs ever since the first one you did. First one I ever became aware of was Summer Reverb, and that was how long ago?
20 years next Friday.
Holy crap.
Next Friday, May 9th, which is the day that Across the Milky Way comes out, is actually the 20th anniversary of my first solo album, Summer Reverb, which once we kind of realized that we wanted to put it out in May, we were going to do, I've got this show booked the 16th, and we were going to put it out that day. And then I said, no. We've got to let people hear this at least a week or so before, so they're not showing up and hearing all these songs that they've never heard before.
Yeah.
So I decided to put it out on the 9th, and then it somehow just jogged my memory that was the same day that Summer Reverb came out. And I was like, wow, 20 years, 2005. So,
well, when you pick this thing up, or if you're going to the show to see it performed, let me tell you, your mind will be blown because you have really developed in every way.
Thank you.
along this
I
path.
really appreciate that.
I mean, you've come a long way. Summer Reverb was, I thought, really good. I listened to that over and over again for quite a while once it came out. But from there to here, man, it's a whole different movie.
Well, I'm very grateful for you saying that. The thing is, I think that it's still pretty obvious if you listen to it. You can hear what my influences are. It's I'm not trying to hide any of that. It's all been done before. I'm not going to reinvent the wheel. I like old music, and I think I just try to mash. I try to mash as many of my influences together, shamelessly, wearing it all on the sleeve, and then see what happens. But I felt like this was a group of songs that fit together well, and I was excited to do it because it's the first. This is my fourth solo album, but it's the first one I've done since Stargazer, which was 8 years ago or so. It was pre-pandemic.
That's a long time.
Yeah. So I mean, we had the Bastards of Soul records during that era. So I had, I was writing songs for that, but on those records, I maybe only had 3 or 4 songs of mine per record. So then I just had this huge backlog of stuff that I've written in the past decade, and I finally had a little break where I was like, I'm going to do another solo album. So. Was this like a big backlog of songs that you had, or did you write one and the next thing you know, you got another kind of like it that came out and another after that? Yeah, it was a lot like that. Cause I mean, in some cases I'd had songs that were laying around for, I tend to write music and melody first and foremost. So I would have sometimes a song will come out instantly, but then a lot of songs I'll have just like a good little chord riff or a good hook, and it'll lay around. I'll have a voice memo on my phone, and then I'll listen back to it a year later and go, oh, that's cool. And then I'll like get inspired to finish it. So it's a little bit of both, but most of these songs were written recently, just in the, kind of in the aftermath of the Bastards of Soul ending. And there were a couple of them that were actually written for the Bastards of Soul, but we never got around to doing them.
And that's one of the things that really struck me about it. All these songs hang together really well.
Thank you. That's so sometimes people will ask and they'll say, so these were like the 12 best songs you had or whatever. And I'm like, no, it's not really, I don't really think that at all. I just think these were 12 songs that fit together. So I'm old, man. I like albums, I still like
I like albums too.
I'm not somebody who thinks about singles really. Like we had to pick singles for this record and I'm like, oh, what are the singles going to be? But I still like albums that flow and that have continuity and where you have to really, and this is not a concept album really, but there is a theme. There are thematic ties with the tracks, and I think it matters. I think sequencing matters. So that's the kind of thing that I think about when I'm recording these things. I try to pick songs that work together, as opposed to being like, what's my catchiest song, or because I'm never gonna have a hit. I don't care about those things. I just want to. Oh,
hey, crazier shit than that's happened in this world.
Maybe.
But how
not to old guys like us, though. I mean, come on.
Well, I don't know, man. You're the exception.
You think?
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate it.
I think something like that could happen for you.
It would be amazing but all I really want is I just want to be able to keep making music. I mean, I made this record in my house, and the fact that I could do a record entirely at home. I recorded the drums actually at Salim's at Pleasantry because they get a great drum sound there. And so, but everything else I did at home. And I just think that it's great that you can do that nowadays. And I just want to keep making music, and hopefully some people will listen. I don't know if it'll be big numbers, but just if I can get anybody to care, that's a victory for me.
Believe me, when it comes to you, people care. They do care. You played everything.
Yeah, I mean,
is there any sound from any other human being on this album?
Yes, there are a few. So whenever I do solo albums, I always, and I don't think of it as selfish, but you know, when you're in a band, there's so much compromise that goes into being in a band. You're compromising with a producer, you're compromising with your bandmates. It's collaborative, but there is a ton of compromise.
Yeah,
there.
you don't always get what you want the way you want it.
I know. And that can be frustrating, and you can feel sometimes like your hands are tied. But whenever I've done a solo album, I've always just said, well, I can play all these instruments. I like playing drums. I'm going to play the drums myself. And I just have all these arrangements in my head. So that's my chance to do that. So what I did at home was I just decided to put all of these tracks together, just on my own. And, you know, so I'm playing pedal steel and all the keyboards and singing all these vocals, stacking harmonies with myself. But, you know, at the end of the day, I didn't like the drum sound that I get in my little house, and was like, okay, my little studio's it's not sonically great for drums. So I just went to Salim's and took all the tracks that I had and said, okay, well, I'm gonna play all the drums over the top of this again.
And these are actual drums.
Yeah, they're actual drums. Yeah.
No Linn drum or nothing like that.
No Linn drum. One thing I wish I had thought to put in the liner notes is that this is all human. All of these harmonies are sung by a person. All of these songs are written by a human, played by a real person playing drums. Because there's so much AI out there now. Like you can literally I could put a prompt into AI and have an album like that, you know, and that scares the shit out of me that people can do that.
It's too scary.
It is. It's really terrifying. So I'm very proud that this is a completely human effort. Some of the guys in my band that I hired to do this show, you know, I had to make mixes for them where I could isolate their parts. It's kind of awful. It's awful to listen to some of these parts isolated. It's like, you can tell this is not auto-tuned because here's my voice in this super high register, and I'm not nailing every note. But when you hear the blend, it sounds pretty good.
And when's the gig coming up?
It's at the Kessler Theater on May 16th, Friday, May 16th.
All right, he will be there playing this record.
Yeah, with an 8-piece band. So for one night only, because it's literally the only night that I have available to do it before everything takes off for the rest of the year. And just considering how much effort is going to go into it with 8 people on the stage, I'm not sure I would want to do it more than one night, unless we have a hit and then there's demand for a tour. If that happens, then yeah, we'll take it on the road. But
we demand a tour.
Yeah. I didn't answer you had a question, and then I went off on one of my rambling tangents there, but you asked if anybody else had played on the record, and the answer is yes, there are a couple of guest spots. One of them is my son, Peyton, plays trumpet there's a whole stack of trumpets on this song called Hearing Aid, which is one of the singles we just put out. And I wrote this horn arrangement. I wrote the horn arrangements in The Bastards of Soul. I don't know if you remember that.
No, but I didn't know that.
I don't play horns. Like I can't play trumpet to save my life, but I can write the parts. And Peyton, my son, he's a great trumpet player. And I had done some session gigs before where I had to put some trumpets on a track, and I'd pulled him in and said, "Hey man, you want to do this?" And pay him to put some horns on some session work of mine. And so I asked him to do this for the song Hearing Aid, and he killed it. He did a really great. It's 3 parts stacked twice over, so it's 6 of his trumpets on this one song.
I've got the song if we want to play it. The whole thing.
You can do that.
Yeah.
Let's listen to this.
This song is a total. It's a very tongue-in-cheek response to the fact that I have serious hearing damage from rock and roll. I tried to kind of make it humorous, but it's very serious. Yeah, so you can hear those trumpets in there. So while it's playing, I'll introduce you to the next guest who is also on this song, and that is my boss, Mr. Campbell. Mike Campbell plays. Mike Campbell and I do the guitar solos back and forth in the middle of this song, and that came about because when I went to Tulsa to shoot the video, we did a song called Dare to Dream with the Dirty Knobs last year, and we shot the video at the Church Studio in Tulsa, which is Leon Russell's studio.
Yeah.
And while we were there, Mike was like, "Well, what have you been doing the past few weeks?" And I said, "Oh, man, I've been making a record in my house." And he was like, "Well, I want to play on it." So I immediately went,
No.
I was like,
what makes you, Mike Campbell,
Yeah.
think you're good enough to play on my record?
and it's kind of the same thing that happened when Don Henley offered to sing on the Stargazer record. I was like, what? I was like, are you joking? No, he seriously. So of course I had to dig up a song for Mike to play on, and this one seemed pretty obvious because it's got this whole middle section. So Groobs, crank this right here.
Okay.
So that's me, and that's Mike. We just go back and forth. So that's I thought that was a trip.
All right, you're not going to believe this, but I was just in there listening to this for the first time, and something about that section jumped out at me, and I couldn't put my finger on what it was. I thought maybe you were just playing back and forth with yourself.
Now you can tell there's distinctly different tones and distinctly different styles.
But I mean, the more I thought about it, the more I thought that doesn't sound like that. That sounds like him and somebody else.
Yeah.
And I thought, I wonder if that's Mike.
It is. It is indeed.
Wow.
It was cool. And you know, I mean, anybody that knows me knows that the real inspiration for that was the Abbey Road medley, the end solos where it's John and Paul and George riffing back and forth for that brief section. And that's totally what I was aiming for with that. But it was great because Mike offered to play. And so when I went to LA for the tour rehearsals for the Knobs right before our summer tour last year, I just took my hard drive and plugged it into his console at his studio at home and recorded him playing guitar. So he's on that track and he's on another track called Satellite Alone, which is kind of this funky kind of, it's got almost like a Little Feat groove to it. And I had a little brief solo section there where it was originally going to be a piano solo. And then, it's that one. And I thought, man, this would be really cool if Mike played a solo here. And he listened to it and he was like, oh man, there are a lot of chords there. I don't know if I can do that. I said, oh man, Mike, you don't need to learn the chords, just riff. So I just put the track on and I just had him stand there and he just played fills all over the song. And then I used it only for a couple sections, but it was awesome because I've got all these outtakes of him just riffing over. It's pretty cool to hear Mike Campbell just improvising over your song, you know.
Was there any particular thing that inspired you on this album? Because it's not a concept album by any means, is it?
No, it's not.
But the songs all hang together really well, like I mentioned earlier.
Yeah, so I mean, there are conceptual ties, but it's not meant to be like this. It's not meant to be like a story. But a lot of it was. It started the real catalyst that drove me into thinking, I need to make a record was I wrote this song called Magic Feeling, and I wrote it in 5 minutes. Like I came up with this little chord riff. I just was. It's 3 chords. It's literally just a loop of 3 chords.
Yeah,
and
I like that song.
I was just sitting on the bed playing that little thing, and I was like, that's really cool. And I started kind of hearing a melody in my head. So I just put my phone down and decided to record it. And literally I wrote the entire song while it was just rolling. I like improvised it. I was like, you know, and then for whatever reason I had that magic feeling, which is another Abbey Road reference. Yeah. Abbey Road. My very favorite Beatles song of all time, You Never Give Me Your Money, says, oh, that magic feeling, nowhere to go. And so I missed that magic feeling. But that's what the album is about. It was about me trying to kind of come back to whatever it was that was missing, that feeling of being inspired and wanting to make my own music. There's a song, the first song on the album is called Snap Out, which is how can I snap out of it? Yeah. Which was because and after Chadwick passed, after the Bastards broke up, it was a rough period, you know, and it was so I started writing these songs right around the time I got the Campbell gig, the Knobs gig. So because that was when I was kind of coming out of this fog, because, you know, when Chadwick passed and then the Bastards of Soul broke up and then Trey Johnson passed right after that. And there were so many friends that we were losing. That was, and we were still coming out of the pandemic. You know, it was like it was a rough time, and I just was kind of in a funk about the whole thing. And so those two songs came very quickly, and then it became all about that. That was kind of the feeling was, you know, trying to recapture what inspires me and what drives me to do what I love, which is music. So there's a lot of that there. And then of course that I Can Only Be Myself is me kind of unapologetically saying, I don't want to fit into anybody's box idea of what I should be doing. It's like, I want to unapologetically do what I want to do.
So I guess that kind of answers my next question. The whole intent from the start was to do a solo album.
Yeah.
And I mean, this was not going to be any kind of band thing, or you weren't going to get guys together. You didn't want a lot of voices in your head on this. You just wanted it to be what you wanted it to be.
Well, bands are hard, as you know, as I said, and they're great because honestly, if I had produced the Bastards of Soul and if I had made all the choices, it would have sucked. It would have been totally different. It was good that we had that tension and that chemistry between the five of us, and then even, you know, Skin and producing us, you know, and like having. But it is the kind of thing that is tough for somebody who has a lot of ideas. So, you know, you have to think about that stuff. And of course, I do so many gigs where I'm a sideman. You know, that's the career that have embraced in the past 10 to 15 years, is just being a sideman. And I tell people all the time, it's so much easier being a sideman. You just show up and do your job. You don't have to worry about the promoters. You don't have to worry about the social media. You don't have to worry about doing anything other than just getting your parts right. Yeah. Play the keyboard, play the guitar, sing your harmony, whatever it is. That being a sideman is awesome. But after a while, you think, it'd be really nice to do my own thing. So that's totally where it came from. It's just the idea that, okay, I'm finally going to go back and do another project where I'm completely in charge.
So what kind of time frame are we looking at from the time you set out on this mission until the time that it came out?
I started writing the songs probably around the time that I got the Knobs gig. So it would have been like the summer and fall of 2022 when I started kind of writing some of them. And then I started, it was kind of a slow process, maybe over a year or so, where I was thinking about it. Yeah. And I even went out, I have a friend named John Mesh. I don't know, you may know John Mesh. Do you know Mesh?
I don't think.
Okay, he's a guitar player, and I actually owe him all the credit for this, because he had a place in Frisco, a studio in Frisco, and he just kept saying, hey man, I'd love to record you someday. Why don't you come up here and we'll record some tracks? You know, no charge, just come up here. I just want to test out the place. And I kept saying, yeah, maybe. And you know, but my tour schedule was busy. I was touring with the Knobs, but I was starting to get some songs together, and I had lots of music, but I didn't have a lot of lyrics. So I knew I had to do some work to get some words together. But it was in the summer of 2023 when I actually went up to Mesh's studio and recorded early versions of Magic Feeling and I Can Only Be Myself, because I had those two, and I had Snap Out. But so those versions did not make the record. I have those versions tucked away for someday when I'm going to let the world hear the alternate takes.
Are they different?
Yeah, a little, not terribly different, because I knew what I wanted. So yeah. I mean, they sound pretty similar, but they are different. And there wasn't any reason that I didn't continue doing it there other than I got busy. And then when I finally had some free time and I had forced myself to finish my lyrics. Like that was I never keep New Year's resolutions at all, but I forced myself. One of my New Year's resolutions last year was, I'm going to finish some lyrics. I'm actually going to make a list of all these unfinished songs, and I'm just going to force myself to write lyrics. So I did that for like 20 or 30 songs. And then when I had a 6-week break between Knobs gigs, it was about a year ago. It was right around the first time that I came on your podcast. Yeah. Because I was here exactly a year ago, right? It was May of 2024. That was right when I had made the record. So I made the entire record in 5 weeks. I just sat down at home. Like whenever I would have days where I didn't have anything to do, I'd get up at 8 a.m. and have my coffee, and I'd be like, hey, I'm going to go out and just spend the day in the studio and just chip away at it slowly. But I just would start with one song, and I would just try to finish the song as much as I could by the end of the day, and then wake up and do the whole process again. So,
do lyrics come easy for you?
No, they're hard. That's the thing is I think music comes very naturally for me, and melody. I can do that all day long, but it's really hard for me to find something to say. You know, I've written tons of songs that had just shit lyrics that were not very profound.
Which one? Do you go anywhere for inspiration?
I'll name them. I don't have
lyrical inspiration.
I don't really have a process for it. I mean, obviously, I have people that I look up to, you know, but I try to draw from. I mean, most of my songs are just about whatever I'm feeling. Occasionally, I'll write something about something somebody does that I react to. Sometimes it's reactionary, but a lot of times it's just whatever. It's just mood. It's whatever I'm feeling, and you know, so it does come across kind of hard on sleeve, but.
Who are the lyricists you enjoy, the other guys?
Dylan, Costello. I mean, Andy Partridge. I'm a huge XTC fan. Mm-hmm. I think he's just a total genius. I mean, I think Costello is one of the best lyricists out there. Obviously, Dylan's just amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about this many times, but I'm a huge fan of Tom Petty's lyrics because Petty, one thing that I think that a great songwriter can do is connect with an audience and you understand. I think Petty was a master of that. Whereas Dylan is so cryptic, you have no idea what Dylan's on about. His word salad is amazing, but you're like, what the hell's he on about? Petty is one of those guys who could put things into the simplest terms and you would understand and you could feel it. One of the things that I got that kind of helped me get my confidence up about a couple of these songs, like Magic Feeling and I Can Only Be Myself, was I was like, wow, these are people are going to, I was like, if I'm doing my job right, hopefully people can relate to these. Like, hopefully people can understand that feeling or, you know, or the frustration that's happening there. And I think that's what a great songwriter can do is make you understand and make you feel that kind of empathetic thing, you know, like, so I
didn't find anything on there that I felt was, you know, difficult to grasp.
I think it's all
anything like that. So rest easy. You done good on that.
Thank you. I think thank you. But that is hard. It's really hard for me to find something to say, and I feel like I've done tons of songwriting in the past where I've just been like, oh, this person pissed me off today. I'm going to write a song about it. And after a while, you're like, oh God, how many kiss off songs can you write, you know, before you're, it's just completely redundant. And I'm still doing it. You know, I still kind of get into a bad mood and I can write a little frustrated rant about it. But, you know, hopefully it connects. That's, I'm just hoping that people will relate to it.
What's the best kiss off song you've ever heard?
Positively 4th Street.
Gotta be, right?
God, I mean, there are tons of them out there.
That's what I was hoping
that one's
say.
That one's just brutal. It's just brutal. Any song that starts off with "You've got a lot of nerve to say you are my friend," it's like, wow.
It does get to the point, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Oh man.
And you know, not to brag, but you know, I played that song with him, right?
Holy crap.
Gee. What was that like?
That was the most surreal thing because he never plays that song. And when we talked him into potentially trying to play the song.
Okay, now where was this?
This was at Farm Aid. This was Farm Aid in 2023. Mike Campbell and the Dirty Knobs were the backing band for Bob Dylan. It was a surprise set. Ferroni on drums, Benmont on keys, me and Lance and Mike. And we had done some rehearsals, and that was just one of the songs that came up. And Mike and Bob had talked about it, and Bob Mike, well, Bob, what do you want to play? And Bob was like, I want to play some of my old stuff, like stuff that I never play. So of course we were just like, we had ideas.
Gee, drag us on, man.
Yeah, we had ideas, but and we must have played a ton of songs without kind of ever settling on what it would be. But that was one of the ones that was a contender, and Benmont had the idea of, well, let's play it like the record, like let's go crack, like with that organ intro.
Yeah.
And Bob was into it. So when we did that at Farm Aid, when we hit that organ intro, the crowd went nuts, and that was the coolest.
I'll bet.
That was the coolest thing for me. It was just hearing the crowd react to hearing us play it like the record, which I don't think Bob has ever done. So that was insane. So I had to brag about that. I did the same thing when I went and saw the Bob Dylan movie. I was like sitting there watching the movie with my wife, and right when he's playing Maggie's Farm, and the whole when he goes electric, I turned to her and I said, I bet I'm the only person in this theater who's played this song with him. And she just turns and goes, shut up. I was like,
Hey,
I thought it was funny.
There are sometimes and some things that you just have to get out there.
Yeah. I was like, I just thought it was funny.
I think I found the performance.
Yeah.
Doesn't start off.
I can't even hear what's going on.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Never mind. Screw it.
So, anyway, yeah. No, that was fun. Thank you for indulging me and letting me brag about that.
Brag some more.
Yeah, brag some more.
What other cool crap have you done?
I can't.
It's time for brag time with Chris. Just let us know. We'll give you an intro and everything.
It is literally all downhill from here.
Another thing I noticed about the songs on the CD and everything is that there is almost no time between songs.
I've done that with, I've done it for years, going back to Summer Reverb and even like the Slack records, where I try to imagine how a song, and of course this goes back to the Beatles. It goes back to Abbey Road and the White Album and Sgt. Pepper and all these records where one song would blend seamlessly into the next, and you'd be like, oh wow, that's two songs, or that's, and I just love that. I love albums that have continuity like that. So I did all of that intentionally. I kind of sequenced it where it would be like, I think this song goes well with this song, and in some cases it would be in the same key. So I would have like a chord there's an F chord that's lingering at the end of this song, and then it's going to go right into an F chord at the beginning of that. So, that definitely is by design. The unfortunate thing is that it's not very practical to do on stage, because my band, all the guys have to sing and all the guys have to play multiple instruments. So it's not very practical for us to try to do those transitions between songs. I think there will end up being some dead air. I'm going to have to come up with some stage banter.
Maybe some jokes.
Yeah, some jokes.
I think maybe I'll come up with like some transitional music. Like be like, Mike, play a solo here real quick while I'm switching guitars, just so I don't have to talk to the audience, because I don't do well at that.
Or just remember, how's everybody doing tonight? There's that, and another good one is, but seriously, folks, kids are great.
Get no respect.
This is the great Chris Holt with us in here today.
Hello again.
Yay.
Me doing that can mean one thing and one thing only, and that is that it is time for the dreaded and feared mid-show read. Your life is about to be changed in 3, 2, 1. What if I told you could free yourself of pain, anxiety, and sleepless nights? And what if you could do it naturally? CBD House of Healing, a women-owned CBD boutique, would like to help. They can help. They would like to help. They carry only products from their lab made to meet the highest quality and purity standards. Their owner, also an RN, emphasizes building trusted relationships through education. They give you the knowledge to care for yourself. That's their ultimate goal. Find your relief from aches and pains, the emotional stress and drain, and sleep again. CBDDallas.com, 8550 Plano Road at Northwest Highway, Suite 101. Begin your healing at the House of Healing. And while we're on the subject, no job is too big, no pup is too small. 25 May, YDC is back at Ryders Field. Is that what it's called? Ryders Field? It is. Okay, all right. Ryders Field it is then. I thought it was the Dr. Pepper 7-Up ballpark, anymore. But that was years ago. All right, Ryders Field for Paw Patrol night with Chase and Sky. You'll want to be there when Groovy Grooves makes his first appearance in the Lazy River.
Hell yeah.
Also, don't miss the Lazy River party. Be part of the pregame party from 3:30 to 4:30, including Chase's appearance in the Lazy River from 4 to 4:30 for just a $20 add-on. Go to www.milb.com/Frisco/tickets/specials to purchase your tickets with the Lazy River Party add-on. And bring your own pup, your dog pets. They get it free with the purchase of a ticket, so come hang with the family and furry friends on your lawn. First pitch is at 6:05.
That's great.
Man.
Do I read this too at the end?
No, I think we're good.
God, I hate this.
It's dreaded and feared read for a reason.
What?
It's a dreaded and feared read for a reason.
That's right. It is dreaded and it is feared.
Quit telling our sponsors you hate reading their copy.
No, it's not that I hate them. It's not that I hate reading their copy. It's just doing it off of this thing.
We'll figure it out.
You hate this.
I'll give you paper.
Piece of paper.
Yeah.
You just said you said you didn't want paper.
You made a sketch.
I didn't
Chris,
make you
he's so
do
complicated.
I don't make you do anything.
I'm not the boss.
We just need to get him those glasses that he can just read off of those, like was it Meta glasses or whatever?
That would be cool.
Yeah.
This is how
so
I feel
awesome.
about social media. It's the way he feels about these.
I understand.
Yeah, it's just,
I'm on social media too much, and I feel the same way about it.
I've had to be on social media constantly for the past few weeks, and it's just like it's so not me.
Man, when you do this, you got to do it.
I know.
That's the only way around
I like this though. I like the podcast thing. This is fun.
Yeah,
like this is.
I like the podcast thing too, but to make it effective, you got to get out there on social media.
Yeah.
You got to learn how to like, and you got to learn how to share, and all this stuff that I've never particularly been into doing or anything like that. But I do it now.
Yeah, that's.
You only used to use it for DMing girls.
Yeah.
Now look at Shoopy. He's a social media maven.
Yeah.
On the world out there every once in a while.
Yeah.
Putting what?
Your position on the world.
My position on the world is very low.
Opinion is
I thought all he did was open Wyatt's Cafe with it.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that too.
Anytime Johnson or Langford do anything, we know that.
Whenever the situation warrants, we let everybody know that Wyatt's Cafeteria is open.
Yes.
And nobody understands that. Only my guys out there understand that.
You get it, Chris?
I fully understand.
Wyatt's
My
Cafeteria has been gone for years and years, but at one time, it was one of the biggest, maybe the biggest cafeteria chain that we had here in the area.
I went there all the time as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and it's gone now.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Rest in power, young king.
Let's see. I had somewhere else I was about to go with you, and I can't think of what it is now.
Okay.
You want to play something? You got a guitar over there.
I was gonna say you were starting to play something during the mid-roll read.
I know. I was just trying to add some light mood music
Yeah.
to the
that
dread and
would have been
feared
good.
the
Yeah.
dreaded and feared read.
Yes.
So,
Kind of a light and dark type of thing, you know.
yeah, yeah, I can play a song.
Okay.
We dare you.
Yeah, we dare you.
What would you
We
like?
don't think you can.
Okay.
We question your musical ability.
So, do I need to sing it into the mic there, or do I just need to play a song?
We'll figure it out.
You could be close to the mic, right? But we'll make it work.
I can maybe move
Yeah.
the mic.
There we go. That's better.
So,
Something like that.
let's see if I can.
It's a little awkward here.
So let's see if I can actually do it just sitting in the chair like this. I was testing out the 12-string to see if it was in tune. I took it out of the case. This is Mike's guitar. This is Mike's beautiful Martin 12-string that I absolutely adore, that he maybe will sell me someday.
Could happen.
Okay. It was perfectly in tune right out of the case, which is not common for 12 strings.
No.
These 12 strings are the bane of my existence, but
They can be very
I sure do like this one now. But there are a couple songs on the album that employ a 12-string acoustic. Actually, let me move this guy here so I can. There's one called Quicksand. Actually, I might have to sit up straight to sing this because it's got some really high notes. So let me see if I can do this. All right.
Hell yeah.
It's Quicksand.
Yeah, that one's really hard to sing. They're really high notes, and it's got a lot of lyrics, and I always get them backwards. There's a thing where it's like, I can't stop sinking and I'm slowly drinking, or I can't stop drinking and I'm slowly sinking in the sand. I'm trying really hard to memorize my lyrics because I have a show coming up.
Yes, you do. You
But
kind of need to be on that a little bit.
It's Monday, and my voice hasn't recovered from the weekend yet. So those high notes hopefully will be there on a Friday night. Should you buy a ticket to the show? So. This thing is a delight to play, and I hate 12 strings.
If only someone would sell it.
I know. If only I could talk you into that. So.
Well, the day may come.
Yeah. Maybe a nice Mike Campbell autograph, Shoopy. I'm trying to facilitate a deal for you.
I don't know. It might take a little bit more than that to get me to part with that bad boy.
Maybe
if there's somebody from Martin who's watching, they could just
just give you one.
Yeah, just give him one.
We love Martin guitars.
Yes. This is my pitch for Martin guitars. I have many of them. I would love one more.
I'm Groobs, and I think Chris needs one too.
I concur.
Yeah.
He does need one. If anybody needs one, it's him.
Let the boy have a guitar.
Yeah. Luckily, it's my job, and I get to have lots of guitars because it's my job.
How does that work? Do you get to keep those guitars, or are they kind of like leased?
Well,
rented or something.
You mean the ones that I use?
They're like the guitar companies.
Almost
give you
all the guitars. Well, no, I mean almost all the guitars that I use are my own guitars. But sometimes I do get special offers, and it's really awesome just to be connected to people that I mean, I get a lot of good deals. So
fair enough.
But it's I try to take advantage of that while I can. There will come the day where the shit will hit the fan, and I will be selling off all of my gear, and so look out for when that happens.
I don't think that day's coming anytime soon. I don't know if you think you have to worry about that right now.
I hope not. I really hope. I hope the good fortune continues.
Boy, I bet Mike's got a couple of guitars, doesn't he?
Man, he's got so many. I thought I had. I don't even have I've got a tiny fraction of what he has. He has got so many.
Where does he keep them? Does he have a place?
He's got most of them. I would say are at his house. He's got a house in Los Angeles, and whenever I go there, I stay with him. They are so generous and hospitable to me as a house guest, and I stay in his back house that has. It's like guitar heaven. That's what we call it. We call it guitar heaven. Like literally, sometimes I'll be back there and I'll be playing this like Guild 12 string, and he'll be like, "You like that one?" I'll be like, "Yeah," and he'd be like, "Yeah, Tom liked that one too." That's the free falling guitar, and I'll just be like, "Whoa!" I mean, every guitar in his house has a story, and it's just the coolest thing. Because he'll come in and he'll just go, "Yeah, I did the Running Down a Dream solo on that guitar in one take," and then he'll just be like, "See ya." Yeah. Like it's nothing. It's like he's just in there with his coffee, and then he'll just be like, "Yeah," and I'll be like, "Can I play it?" And he'll be like, "Sure." He's really cool. He's really cool. He's really fun.
Guys like that are amazing because to them, it's nothing. It's just something they did, Yeah. And here we are, the commoner, out here trying to make our way through this world. Yeah. We look at it, we go, "Wow."
Yeah. It happens a lot in my professional life where I have to kind of pinch myself and be like, "Wow, this is the room that happened," or "This is the guy who." Dude, when I'm sitting where just within 3 feet of Joe Walsh, talking to Joe Walsh, I have to remind myself that this is the dude that gave Jimmy Page his Les Paul in 1969 that led to Led Zeppelin 2. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I have to be like, dude, this is the guy who gave Jimmy Page his Les Paul. I mean, literally, that fact alone is just mind blowing. And you're like, and that guy is my bandmate. How's that even possible?
It's crazy.
It is. It's crazy.
It's a crazy world you're in.
Yeah, it really is. And but that's the thing is like I'm a nerd for rock history and pop music history in general, and that kind of stuff. It may seem like nothing to even them. It'd be like, no big deal. But it's like that's just like
you don't understand.
That's era defining to me.
You don't
like,
understand.
That's
what
like
this
that
means.
literally is like history changing gesture.
Yeah.
You gave him that guitar. Look what happened.
I mean, it changed the course of music.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Just that transaction that was nothing to you changed the course of music.
Do you want to hear something that's going to blow your mind? So we just recorded
And now it's time for something that's going to blow your mind.
This is just a little tidbit. So we just recorded the new Knobs album in Los Angeles about a month ago. We put down about 20 tracks in about a week.
Yeah.
Seriously. That's how we record with Mike. Like, it's just bam, bam, bam. George Strakulius and Mike and the whole Knobs. Ferroni's there. And I thought my guitar rig was going to be set up. When I arrived in LA, I thought all my gear was just going to be there. Well, it wasn't. And so I came in to the first day of session. I was, oh, where's my rig? Oh, I don't know. Where's your rig? And I said, well, maybe nobody had it brought, because I thought that it would just be set up like, and I'm not throwing anybody under the bus. It was just, it was very loose. And he goes, oh, I don't know. And I was like, oh, okay, well, so what am I going to use? So we just kind of went around Mike's house and we just were grabbing pedals and we were grabbing amps and stuff like that. And, so I had a little Fender that I was using, and then Mike was like, you ought to use that little Marshall over there. That little Marshall with the white tape on it is great. And I'm like, okay. So we set it up, and we put some pedals down, and I start getting it. And, of course, I'm using Mike's Broadcaster.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
which is insane enough as it is. But then he kind of comes over, and he goes, you like that little Marshall? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, that's the Marshall that George used for the Handle with Care solo. And I was like,
everyone's minds just got blown.
He said the white tape has been on it for the past 35 years because we left the settings that way.
Wow.
After George played the slide solo on that little amp, he's like, we've never changed the settings. That's why the white tape is there. And I was like, I need a minute. I was like, yeah.
I would imagine so. I mean,
yeah,
to me,
yeah,
it's hard for me to imagine these guys even playing through an amp or even playing a certain guitar,
Yeah, and you hear that slide solo on Handle with Care, which is just Handle with Care is one of the greatest things ever in my world, especially George's vocal and slide solo on that song. And it sounds just larger than life. And it's this tiny little amp. It's smaller than that little thing right there. And I'm like, that gigantic sound came from that little amp and that gigantic human being, George Harrison. Just
amazing.
Yeah. And those are the kinds of things that a nerd like myself has his little mind blown by,
Did you just kind of secretly dial in just a little bit more bass or anything on it?
I did not.
Okay.
I did not. I left it as is. I adjusted my pedals a little bit, but
fair enough.
That amp, so that was really cool. I thought, So yeah, we're gonna have another new Knobs album coming out. I don't know when it's coming out. We're, kind of in the post-production phase of. It's really Mike's job to sit and decide what songs make the record. Like that's the easy part of being a sideman. I went in there, I play my piano parts, I play my guitar parts, sing my vocal parts, and then I'm done. I go away, and George and Mike sit there and debate what song fits with.
How many albums will this be for them now?
This will be album number 4 for the Knobs.
Wow.
So, yeah. So we did the Vagabonds album, which was last year, came out last summer. I would love it if it was going to come out this year, but my guess is it'll probably come out next year because they just record label promotional stuff and just the process of whittling it down from 20. We know it's not going to be a double album. And Mike has so many hundreds of songs. Like he'll come in one day and just be like, oh, here's something I recorded in 1997, but the Heartbreakers never did it. And then we'll learn it, and then it'll be like, cool. We just recorded a song that's been sitting on the shelf for 30 years, But he's just got, when I say hundreds, I mean that literally. I was actually talking to Mike's engineer, Martin, one day. And I said, Martin, how many songs would you say you have of Mike's, like, on the computer? And he said, well, I had to do inventory on it recently, and I counted that there are 364 contenders or something like that. And I was like, contenders? Like 364 possible songs we might listen to and get around. Like, and of course, we never get to all that, but it was just like, but it's just amazing that he just writes every single day. Every day, he's a rock and roll factory.
You know what I would love to see happen with the Knobs? This has been my thing about them ever since they started out. But man, I would love to see Benmont with the Knobs.
Absolutely, and we've certainly played with him, and Ben. So Ben's got a solo tour that he's doing right now. He just put out a solo album. Have you heard that record?
No.
Ben's solo record is great. Highly recommend it. It's called the Melancholy Season, I think is what it's called. Really nice.
I mean, for me,
and he's got a real kind of Dylan-esque voice. You know.
Yeah. For me, he was the real, or one of the him and Mike were the real difference makers in the Heartbreakers.
Absolutely.
For me,
and they have such a special chemistry. When those two are in the same room together, there is something there. It's like it's a presence that suddenly becomes this bigger thing.
And every time I hear the Knobs, or the time that I went to see the Knobs, the whole time I was just thinking, man, what keeps Benmont from doing this?
Well, I think that Ben's just had his own kind of thing going on for a while, and I think that both of them have been hesitant to do anything that could be perceived as a Heartbreakers.
Yeah.
Because you got Ferroni, who's in the band now full time. I think if Ben were in the band full time, Mike might be like, this is dangerously close to the Heartbreakers.
Yeah.
But Ben made a guest appearance on the last album, played some piano, and we have a track on this album that we just recorded. That was Mike had the track laying there, and then we came in. It has Jim Keltner. And it has Benmont on it. Like when Mike was playing it for me, I heard all this piano on it, and I was like, "Is that Ben?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I said, "Well, then obviously I'm not replacing the piano, because I do all the keyboards and the knobs now." And so I think that's if Benmont were to ever play with the Knobs, I'm not suggesting that it would happen, but if it ever did happen, that would free me up to just play guitar only.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have to do keys. But right now I'm splitting duty. Like when the Knobs tour now, I have a keyboard rig and a guitar rig, and in certain songs I have to go between them.
You ever been out there when Kellner's been around?
No, I haven't met him. I really would love to.
Man, I would too.
Yeah, but it was cool because that track that has Keltner on it, we put Ferroni on it too. So it's got Ferroni doing percussion bits and then Keltner playing the kid, and it's like, God, talk about the best of both worlds. And Benmont on keys.
Yeah.
So I'm
All right, well,
pretty
let's
sure
tell-
that track will make the record.
Let's tout the show one more time before we get out of here. That you got coming up.
Yeah.
It's at the Kessler.
Yes, sir. Kessler Theater on May 16th. It's to promote Across the Milky Way, which is my solo album that comes out May 9th. And I've got an 8-piece band. And Salim Narala is opening the show, the great Salim Narala. And I'm really excited about it. So you don't have any other questions for me about the other? Everybody's been asking about the other gig. Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that.
Well, no, we kind of did cover that.
Yeah,
when
we did cover it before. And
I didn't mean to put you on the spot or anything. I was like, wow, you get the prize. You're the first person asked me about the Eagles.
I mean, I just don't want to big time you about that. Or
no, it's all right. You've already heard me talk about it. It's like, dude, it's great. It's
we're kind of over it.
Right? I told you, everybody's over it now. I'm telling you, everybody's sick of me.
So when you do this thing out there at the Sphere with the Eagles, like, do you do like a week's worth of shows and then take a week off? Or
no, we
something?
we do take a week off, but it's only 2 shows a week. So
really?
It'll be a Friday, Saturday, and then we have a week off, and then do another Friday, Saturday, and then we have 2 weeks off. So it's only 4 shows a month. And I think they love that because it's not like the wear and tear of touring. It's, touring, I think touring's a blast, but you do it long enough, you're like, what city am I in? What? And I think that's, and Vegas is Vegas. It's not nobody's favorite city is Vegas, but it's still, it's such, I think it's just an easy thing for them to have a residency there where they're not having to travel constantly. Going from Los Angeles to Vegas is pretty simple, and the gear doesn't move. The crew gets to keep everything there, and we're dialed in, and it's just the best sounding room. It's just an absolutely amazing sounding venue. So it's really, I think it's just an ideal situation for them.
Yeah.
You know. And I hope we keep going. I hope it.
Now, I probably had my head up my ass here, but what's the story on the Sphere? I really don't know too much about it.
Well, I couldn't really tell you much about it either because I just play guitar here. That's my excuse for everything. I was like, I don't crunch numbers. I just play guitar here. But the way Don announces it on stage is he says there's 164,000 speakers in the room. Like every single position, you could be in the nosebleed seats and it still sounds amazing right there. There are speakers everywhere in that room.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're not allowed to use amplifiers on stage or foldback monitors. Everything's in ears. It's all in-ear monitoring. And we're all using amps, but they're all in another room.
Yeah.
Which is, I think that took everybody
That's kind of trippy.
Yeah, it is. And the content is just amazing. It's going on all around you. When they knew that Stuart was going to step down and they knew that I was going to join the band, that they brought me in to see a couple shows so I could actually experience the entire room and see all of the content on the screens. Mm-hmm. I think presumably so that I could get that out of my system, and not look around the room during the gigs, because it can be very distracting to get caught up in all that's happening in that room. It is spectacular, and I can't even put it into words. I can't tell it. I can't speak it and have it do it justice. You know what I mean? It's something you just kind of have to experience. You need to come see a show. Are you a Vegas guy? Do you like Vegas?
I've never been to Vegas.
Really? Ever?
Yeah, I never have.
How's that possible?
I don't know. I just never have.
Yeah. Well, then you need to come to Vegas. I insist.
Okay, we will come to Vegas and see a show.
Yeah, you talk to me. I'll take care of you.
All right. Now that's what we like to hear.
Now he's in.
See, aren't you glad you asked?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I am. All right, so the show at the Kessler is coming up here.
Yeah.
Everybody go see it. Chris is going to be playing his album. It's got a great band. It's going to be quite a night. Get your tickets. Get over there. See the show.
Yeah. And maybe we'll play some old songs too. I was kind of joking about it. I was like, this is why the album needs to come out a week before the show, so everybody can at least hear these new songs. But maybe I'll play a few old ones if anybody knows the old ones. I don't know I don't have any hits, so I don't know if that even matters, you know? So but I'm excited to play these new songs.
If it's you, people will listen to anything you do anyway. Everything you do is a hit with the masses out there. Never seen anything like it.
I greatly appreciate it.
Well, thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me on the third time. I think I've met my quota for the amount of times I can be on this show.
You can come back anytime you want. I never get tired of talking music with you and hearing you talk about it, hearing you tell your stories, man.
It's funny? Okay, so going back to last year's podcast when I came on, you asked me some good questions that I totally thought my answers were crappy. I was like, you asked me like, what's the hardest song you ever had to learn how to play? And I got stumped and I couldn't think of anything. And I was like, I think I said Clap by Steve Howe, and then I thought about it. I was like, that one's not that hard. I thought of one that I was like, the one that just completely eats my lunch is a song called Big Love by Lindsey Buckingham.
Oh, yeah.
Fleetwood Mac. That one, I've had to learn that one a few times, and it's that live version that Lindsey does where he picks it but pull up the live version where he does that lightning fast picking. That's really hard. And I mean, I can do it, but I have to practice it. It's one of those things where if I want to play that song, I got to practice it for like a week.
Well, do it now.
No, hell no. I'm not going to do it now. I'm just saying that's the kind of thing that I think of after the fact. I'm like, I thought of a song that's really hard.
He's one of the most amazing guitar players anyway for me because he's a full-blown, no two ways about it finger picker.
Absolutely.
And you don't see those in the idiom of rock and roll anywhere.
Yeah. And I mean, even when he was playing electric guitar, it's all fingers.
Yeah.
Kind of like Knopfler, but different styles, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, he's an amazing player. And some of those, I mean, like Never Going Back Again is another example of one. I know how to play that one, but it's really hard. And it's like, it's stressful.
I heard that song the other day and just thought, man, that is so cool.
Yeah. He's just a absolutely unique guitar player. So
he really is.
So here we are a year later. I decided to at least say, I thought of one that's hard. So.
He is the great Chris Holt. Go see him at the Kessler.
Yay.
Thank you.
Now, as for us, we want you to remember a couple of things, not the least of which is that you can find all of the episodes on our Patreon page. Hang on for a second. This thing just completely, totally got away from me. All right, take two in 3, 2, 1. You can find all of our episodes on the Patreon page. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify. Listen, follow, share us on your social media. That means everything to those of us who swim in the waters of the podcast. And while we're at it, if you're feeling what we're throwing down, how about a nice review? If you're by the channel on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, you can help others find us by leaving a review. That's the way things roll in this game of the podcast. Thanks to Chris Holt. Thanks to Shoopy, Ashley, Mickey, Becca. Thank you for watching today. Bye.
Yay.
Thanks, man. That was fun, dude. I love doing this show. This is great fun.
All right. I'm gonna go take my pants off.
Your Dark Companion is a Stolen Water Media presentation.